Kiosha, and welcome back to another video. If you enjoy my book videos, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more videos from me. Without further ado, let's just get into today's video. All right, you guys, so let's just get into the video. So unfortunately, June wasn't a great month for me when it came to reading. I did not commit like I should have. So I only read 2 books out of the 5 that I was supposed to read. And you know, sometimes things just don't work out the way you want them. So I'm just gonna talk about the 2 books that I read in the month of June, and we're gonna try to get our life in July. I promise y'all I'm about to set some time aside. I don't care what's going on, who's doing what. I'm finna set aside some time and make sure that I get my reading in, because it's something I definitely enjoy and I don't get to do enough of lately. And so I need to just recommit. Like, I need to recommit to a lot of things in my life, but I definitely need to recommit into reading, because I'm just missing out on so many good books because I choose to do something else or spend my time on other things that's not necessarily stuff that I should be spending my time on. So I'm not gonna make this a get it together video for Kiosha, but I am just trying to let you guys understand that, you know, sometimes life gets away from us and the things that we want to do and love don't always happen, and sometimes we have to make a conscious effort to do it, and I didn't do it in the month of June, so I'm going to try to get it together for July. So the 2 books that I read in the month of July are, the first book was our book club book of the month. You guys, this book was so good. They need to make a movie out of it. Like, this is my #1 book of the year so far. I don't know if any other book is going to top this one. It's like way more than I expected. I didn't expect this book to be as good as it was, or as emotional roller coaster as it was, but it was so good, and I highly recommend this book. It's a 10 out of 10. It's called You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke, Emezi. I don't know if I said that right, but I will put the cover up right here so you guys can make sure you have the right book, and I will link it down below. So that book was so good, 10 out of 10, recommend for sure. And then the second book I read out of the month was one of the books out of my digital book collection that I guys told you about, that's on this spreadsheet, and we do like a random generator, and I picked like 5 of those books. So the book was She Wore Mourning. I always want to say something else. I feel like that's such an incomplete title. It was an okay book. I gave it like 3.5 stars. It was pretty good. It was the typical something happens to a child, you don't really think that's what happened, you want to investigate because you feel like the police didn't do everything they should, and so it was just really dragged on. In my opinion, I feel like they could have just got to it a lot quicker than they did, but they didn't. But hey, I'm not a book writer, so I can't criticize too much. If I was entertained and it held my attention, I usually give it 3 stars or more. So 3.5 for this one. You know, take it as you will, read it if you think you might be interested, but you know, you don't have to if you don't want to. But She Made a Fool of Death with Her Beauty. You definitely need to read that one for sure. So let's just get into what books I am going to be reading for the month of July. And we are going to read these books, you guys, I promise you. So if I come back in the end of July, early August, and I haven't read this book, y'all need to talk about me so bad in the comments, okay? Just talk about me really bad if I have not finished these 5 books. Like, talk about me bad to shame me into reading books like I should if I have not read these books by the end of the month, okay? So let's just get into what I'm going to be reading for the month of July. So as you guys know, I have my laptop here, and we do a number generator, and that tells me what books I am going to be reading in the current month. So we're gonna pick 4 books because my 5th book is going to be my book club book. So the first book that I'll be reading this month maybe is The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocumb, and this is our book club pick for the month of July, and our theme is like pearls, black and white, or something like that. You guys see when I do my book club vlog. But this is The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocumb, and I will read all the synopses at the same time. So let's go ahead and get our number generator together and find out the other 4 books I'll be reading for the month. So we're gonna head down to the screen here. We're gonna do my screen record. All right, you guys, so we are on the laptop, so I will be looking down. On the left, you will see my spreadsheet with all of my digital books. And on the right, you will see my random number generator, and I have generate 4 numbers, and that will correspond to the numbers here on the spreadsheet, and that's how I choose what books I want to read. So let's go ahead and get our numbers Boop, boop, boop. Come on, why are you not getting my numbers? There we go. So our first number is number 19, which is A Trace of Murder. And let's see which number book. So this is number 2 in the book series. So we're going to read the first book, which is A Track of Death. So we'll go ahead and get that one as our first book, A Trace of Death. And this is by Blake Pierce. I really love Blake Pierce. She makes some really good books. Our second number is 142. Boom, boom, boom. And it is called Still Alive. Oh no, wrong one. 142 is The Dollhouse by Sara, Ennis, and it is the first book in a series, so that is great. And then 189 is our third book, and where is it? And it's Not Me by Kate. Okay, so it is the first book in the series, so it's Not Me by Kate Bold, and it's Camille Grace series. And the last and final book we're going to read is on line 208, which is called 12 Years Gone by KJ Kellis, and it is the first book in the series. So that was quick and painless. So let me get all these books together, get the synopsis, and then I'll tell you guys what they're about. All right, you guys, so the first book I told you guys I was reading for the month is The Violin Conspiracy. This is our book club book of the month, and it's by Brandon Slocumb. And so the synopsis says, Ray McMillan has a gift and a dream. He's determined to become a world-class professional violinist, and nothing will stand in his way. Not his mother, who wants him to stop making such a racket, not the fact that he can't afford a violin suitable to his talents, not even the racism and prejudice inherited in the often rarefied world of classical music. When Ray discovers that his beat-up family fiddle is actually a priceless Stradivarius, all his dreams suddenly seem within reach. Together, Ray and his violin take the world by storm. But on the eve of his renowned and cutthroat competition, the Olympics of classical music, the violin is stolen, a ransom note for $5 million left in its place. Ray feels like he's lost a piece of himself. As the competition approaches, Ray must not only reclaim his precious violin, but prove to himself and the world that no matter what the outcome, there has always been a truly great musician within him. So that sounds really, really good. Y'all know I love a good mystery book. Okay, and the rest of them are digital books, so I will make sure I put the picture somewhere, either on this side or this side, whichever has enough room. And if you see me looking, I'm reading the synopsis from my laptop. So our next book is A Trace of Death by Blake Pierce, and it says, Carrie Locke, missing person detective, is the homicide division of the LAPD, remains haunted by the abduction of her own daughter years before, never found. Still obsessed with finding her, Carrie buries her grief the only way she knows how, by throwing herself into the cases of missing persons in Los Angeles. A routine phone call from a worried mother of a high schooler only 2 hours missing should be ignored. Yet something about the mother's voice strikes a chord, and Carrie decides to investigate. When she finds shocked her, the missing daughter of a prominent senator was hiding secret no one knew. When all evidence points to a runaway, Carrie is ordered off the case. And yet, despite pressure from her superiors, from the media, despite all trails going cold, the brilliant and obsessed Carrie refuses to let go. She knows that she has 48 hours if she has any chance of bringing this girl back alive. A dark psychological thriller with heart-pounding suspense, A Trace of Death marks the debut of a riveting new series and a beloved new character that will leave you turning pages late into the night. And the next book was called The Dollhouse by Sara, Ennis, and it says, Alfred needs dolls, blonde, blue-eyed human dolls that will help him rewrite his past and change his future. Twins Angel and Bud are used to making do. Their dad's in prison and mom won't win parenting award. Bud thrives on neglect, but Angel isn't so strong. Now they're captives in a place called the Dollhouse, and things have gone from bad to worse. The dolls are forced to restage old photographs. By satisfying Alfred is not easy. He has a twisted sense of humor and a violent temper that explodes when things don't go his way, and sometimes when they do. Angel knows that if she and the other dolls are to survive this warped playtime, she can no longer be needy and afraid. She must prove how strong she can be fast. There aren't many photos left. So the next book is called Not Me by Kate Boyd. Camille's frustrations mount as she struggles to connect with her newly assigned partner and the clues don't add up. To make matters worse, Camille is haunted by memories of her sister's disappearing years ago, and this new killer's victim seems to fit the same description. Could it be the same killer? Camille knows she must enter this killer's twisted mind if she has any hope of stopping him in time. But will he take her down with him? A riveting psychological crime thriller full of mystery and suspense, the Camille Grace mystery series will make you fall in love with brilliant new female protagonists packed with twists and turns. Her story will keep you flipping pages late into the night. And our last and final book, called 12 Years Gone. Sara Snippet went out for a hike a month before heading to college on a cross-country scholarship. She never came back. In the 12 years she's been gone, the local police have done little to help the family, leaving them with a desperate knowledge that Sara could still be alive somewhere, somehow. The family hasn't given up their hopes for revenge, or at least answers. Emily, a former Chicago PD cold case detective suffering from painful skeletons in her past, holds the hope of the family in her hands. Can she overcome her own history in order to help them find Sara and get the justice that's needed? All right, you guys, so those are all of the books that I am going to be reading in the month of July. Let me know which one sticks out to you the most and seems the most interesting. Also, let me know what books you guys are hoping to read in the month of July. Put them in the comments below, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.